All right, Gary, what are we playing this week?
Well, cool. I have taken 1,000 games from Steam.
Ooh.
Put them on miniature flashcards. Put those miniature flashcards in an ice cube tray. Filled them with water.
Okay.
Froze the water and put them in this ice cube dispenser on my fridge.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
So you drink what you play. Or you play what you drink.
Take whatever you want, but you got to drink whatever you take.
Please drink all you take.
Yes.
Please play all you drink.
Yeah. We call this the poor man's lotto machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're going to get poor man blotto machined.
Ooh.
As we drink these adult beverages.
With
ice. So what kind of, I've been making my own wine.
Have you?
Out of things that came with my house. Which kind would you like? I've got Crawl Space.
Okay.
And this, I've got Garage, and I've got Eerie Shed.
I mean, the Shed, you sold it pretty good with that voice.
You chose the right one.
Yeah. Yay! It's back! The skeleton light's back from the previous episode.
I took some things I found in the shed.
Okay.
I made a kind of pruno.
Okay.
And here, I'm going to give you some ice.
Okay.
You can see there are little chips in it. And whichever one melts first that you drink, once you pass it, put it into a card reader, put that into on a PC and see what game it is. And I will see you in a couple days.
Bottoms up. I'm going to put ice cubes in my wine like you do.
Mm-hmm. Well, this wine, you want something to cut it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, so I guess we'll reconvene. Also, do you have like a colander or something that I can shit in so I don't flush this?
No, but I have some gloves.
Oh, okay, cool.
Do you want to wear those?
Yeah, fine. Whatever.
Okay. I figure you've got a colander you don't mind throwing away.
It's a family heirloom. All right. Time wipe.
You take it on faith, you take it to the heart, the waiting.
Time wipe. You haven't even produced it yet.
Gary, it's a Steam game called Arctic Alive. No.
Do you like this? Is this one of those things? Do you secretly like this?
There are charms to this, I think, but no, I'm not going to come out and say that this is that this is good.
Good.
I like the atmosphere about this, and there's like cool. Yeah, let's just do the episode.
Get into it. My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name's Cole Ross.
And welcome to Abject Suffering, the show where we would open that tab, but it would stop the recording.
I need to fix that problem. Yeah,
someone's been paying attention.
Yes, they have. I don't know what's causing that. Basically, we record directly into Logic Pro 10, and there's a problem where a website will like start an audio stream and will cut stuff off. And the thing about that kind of issue is you cannot find a solution to it by Googling. So
yeah, more like Logic Amateur 10.
Ooh, shit. But yeah, this week we're talking about a Steam survival horror survival game called Arctic Alive. Yeah.
Horror might happen in it.
I got my neck snapped by a shadow man.
I fell on the floor a bunch of times and died from that. Stepping on like an errant puddle.
Yeah. Oh, that's the liquid form of the Shadow Man.
That's the Liquid Shadow Man.
Yeah.
Liquid Shadow Man killed me a lot, but I can't say that what I experienced was much horror.
Right.
From that.
It is a thing that is intended to be spooky. This was patron demand by Mary. It says Arctic Alive was a short survival horror game that was somehow made entirely in the 3D modeling program Blender. And saying it's got it all. It's simultaneous. It has a script that was run translated directly from Russian machine translated with no proofreading. It is simultaneously a technological marvel and a baffling trip to the uncanny valley. It is ridiculous that this was made in Blender.
Yeah. It's a good reason not to do that, though.
Yeah, it is a case study in why. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, and it's weirdly system intensive.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're running, it's not meant to do what it's doing.
It's not optimized for that. Yeah.
Not optimized. Yeah, it doesn't look good or run very good.
Yeah, like Unity's right there, guys.
It's extremely right there. It plays really weird.
Yeah.
Like this game controls and feels very weird. But it is like a full-on like adventure game, like with huge inventory and tons of crafting.
Yes.
Of you waking up a prisoner in Arctic base, getting out, and then having to like grow crops and avoid puddles, and combine objects to do things.
Right. There are tons of meters that you have to babysit, including like the temperature. Like you find a little thermometer that checks the ambient temperature around you. Like you find clothes that you can put on. And I guess you're trying to escape or at least learn what happened or why there are monsters about. It's difficult because the text I think is actually pretty charming in this. It is bad from the perspective. God damn it, Dottie, stop scratching my leg. It is bad from the perspective of trying to communicate what you are supposed to do or why you are doing it. But it is like yes, it is good in terms of accidental bad translation poetry that happens.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, I will buy that. As is, I end up being more kind of bewildered by this than anything.
It's
I felt
bewildering.
like if I had gone into this with a little bit more patience, I could have got into it, but I just wasn't feeling that.
Yeah.
That's just not the headspace I brought to it. I did no guilt about that.
Yeah. I stopped this at about a half an hour, not out of boredom or anything. I would have continued like plucking along, trying to figure this out, but it's one of those things where you can make a mistake early on and use your resources in a bad way. So you want to be a little bit optimal about it.
One of the action scenes that is on the Steam page of this is you being outside and then a grizzly bear following you into an outhouse.
God, I want to see that grizzly bear.
Yeah, I really wish I would have got to the grizzly bear. And just like the idea of him just like, I don't know, there's something very menacing about following somebody into an outhouse that's more menacing than following them into any other kind of bathroom.
I mean, an outhouse or a porta potty, you're already so vulnerable.
Like anything can happen in an outhouse.
Is that the sequel to Anything Can Happen on Halloween?
It feels like international waters on land to me in a lot of ways. Like a single international lake.
Yep.
In the middle of it. And the bear, it doesn't look like the bear doesn't have a very threatening like attack posture.
Right.
He looks angry, but he's just definitely like doing a casual scroll. Like he's going, stroll, like he's going to walk in and like try to get you into a Ponzi scheme or something, or a Fonzie scheme as a bear might do.
You mean a Fozzie scheme? Yeah, you mixed up like 5 different things there.
I mixed up 2 different things, thank you. Fozzie and Fonzie, and they sound very similar.
Okay. And I would have believed that you said Fonzie scheme on purpose, but
yeah. Well, it was a mistake. Yeah. I meant Fozzie the bear, because Fonzie's not a bear, even by like gay culture definitions. He's an otter at best. So.
Oh, he is coded as Italian. He would have the hair the hair present for ottering. I don't know. I don't know from whence I speak.
You're doing good.
You're doing good. You're blending in.
You're doing it.
Yeah. Fine. Stop second guessing yourself. Yeah. But yeah, this is tough to control. I didn't get into any combat. I'm really curious to see what this adds up to is the thing. So like maybe you're not wrong. There's something that happens on the show. Like you did this for the Mr. Bean one. You did this when we played Nightcry. Like I feel like there's a certain kind of thing that you sit down and play and immediately you clock like, oh God, I'm probably gonna have to argue with Cole about this because he's gonna like this.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't see a rhyme or reason for what any of those might be.
Well, the rhyme or reason is Mr. Maze.
Oh.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Mr. Maze.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, you lost a lot of your credibility with that one for me. Like,
That's very
you lost
unfair to
quite a
Mr.
bit.
Maze.
I think it's incredibly fair to you, though.
Okay.
And I think that so that's honestly the origins of that. It's just like, man, who knows what Cole's gonna like? He liked
Yeah.
walking through first person mazes of corrugated metal. You know, so like, with no stakes, nothing chasing him.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, nothing. Just what if you solved a first person maze?
That reminds me, I need to go before Halloween gets out. I need to go find a corn maze.
Like, corn mazes, I think, are one of the more like pandemic friendly.
Probably, yeah. It's outside. You can keep distant. Yeah.
I have a Let's Play of this running, and when you go to the bathroom in this, it very tastefully does the camera outside the stall, which she leaves open, which is logical because she lives by herself.
Right. And
but
also,
then-
you don't want something to attack you. See the aforementioned bear and outhouse problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the bear in the in-house. But she, it cuts over to her sitting on the toilet, and she stands up fully clothed. Like, it starts as a tasteful thing, and you think she's just going to leave, but then it cuts over to you sitting down, peeing through your like one piece
cat suit, yeah.
thing. Yeah, your weird cat suit.
Yeah. No, I was concerned when I found the restroom, and I was like, okay, I've got a little potty meter. How's this going to work? I was concerned, but I was happy that there was at least a little bit of a cutaway on that. Who knows what the sense of taste or propriety is going to be?
The corn maze, like going back to a corn maze, I think that'd probably be pretty safe in terms of the pandemic. I am going to miss haunted houses this year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't trust that as like, even if they're like, oh, we sanitize every time, we only allow a couple people through. Like,
It doesn't matter.
that feels like too close quarters to me.
Yeah. And
to
also
be worth
like
it.
the performers getting up and shouting in my
Oh.
face, you know?
Yeah. Like, you know, and they're not going to be wearing masks. Like, some of them will be wearing scary masks.
Right.
But the guys who put clown makeup on beards are not going to about to like,
Right.
you know, let wild horses be tamed.
Right. So this will be one of the first years that I don't go to the OSR, the Ohio State Reformatory haunted house, and that is a real fucking bummer, man. That's a highlight of my year.
I hate losing the year.
Yeah.
Hate losing the year.
Hate it.
I had that sickness earlier in the week when we recorded. I just kind of got over a sickness. And anytime you're sick in pandemic times, you're like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
I've got COVID.
It's a paranoia we all live with because we see the devastation that it causes in some of the people who get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been, you know, so I've been sick for like a week, and it was the first time I've been in quite a while, definitely since the pandemic, that I've been sick enough to where like sick for a long time, call the nurse hotline
Yeah.
sick, like not quite urgent care sick. But I got really, really sick. And speaking of Arctic Alive, I got hypothermia.
I was hoping you would bring this up because I put those two things together, that this is a game about freezing to death. And you like, this still doesn't make any sense to me because I'm assuming it's Portland, it's in the fall. You're probably rolling around maybe an indoor temperature of about like 70 degrees. Probably. That's what I keep it at. Yeah.
That's exactly the temperature it is right now, man. We're simpatico in that way.
Well, just
Even from across the country, we can record at the same temperature.
well, we have to
wonders
get
of
it,
technology.
we have to get it synced up. No, it's 70 degrees is what I try to keep it at inside the house. You know, it's comfortable if you are, you know, walking, you know, sitting around in a t-shirt and jeans, right?
Yes.
How do you get hypothermia if you're in a 70-degree house?
So apparently from fighting off some kind of infection.
Even that doesn't
That's
make
what the nurse
any
discussed.
sense. Even that does not make any sense to me, because if you're fighting
No,
off an infection, there's an immune and inflammatory response, and your body heats up in order to kill the microbes.
You'd think so, but my body, my body's different.
Yeah, you have
know, ripped to your body,
you
but
have
my
an
body's
X-Men
different. Like,
body. Okay. Yeah.
So I tend, like, my temperature tends to run low, you know,
Okay.
like 98.6 standard temperature. I tend to run about 97,
Okay.
you know, and I realized like one day I was like not feeling good kind of the whole day. Like I felt, it was last Friday, supposed to record with Jeremy. There was some kind of mistake. We had to reschedule, and then a hurricane hit Jeremy. So it was good that we, you know, rescheduled. So he was without power for a while, and I was just like very cold, and my head felt really fuzzy. And I laid down, and I took my temperature, and it was 95 degrees.
That's
and I was like, well, that's
shockingly
weird.
low. Yeah.
Yeah, that's biologically low. It's an all-time low for me. And I looked up online and everything's just like, oh, that's hypothermia. Like that is, medically hypothermia. So I was just trying to, and I couldn't get warm. Like my temperature in the house was not.
Yeah, that's like a
cold.
positive feedback loop kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes. Like, I simply could not get warm.
Like,
Ended up calling
did
the
you
nurse
draw
hotline.
like a warm bath or something, or?
I took a hot shower and got under like a million blankets.
Gotcha.
And my girlfriend was a champ and like, it was very nice. I drank some hot tea and stuff. And, the nurse was like, oh, you might be fighting something. It doesn't sound like COVID, just try to get your temperature up and give you a big list of symptoms, to watch out for. That would mean like, hey, urgent care.
Yeah.
And the big one was confusion, which
Makes sense.
is,
Yeah.
That's a tricky symptom though,
I
Don't
mean,
you ever just kind of like feel confused? Like sometimes you get up and you're just like, oh, what was I doing?
I think confusion would be best diagnosed by somebody else.
Yes.
And I say this only because, like, having had a close family member who went through specifically dementia and episodes of kind of like transient amnesia that went through, they acted like it was perfectly fine and normal, but the things that they were saying and the responses to the stimulus were not necessarily together. So like, you might feel fine, basically if you're confused, or if you're worried that you're confused, you might actually not be confused, right?
Yeah.
That that might actually be like a sign that you're okay if you're self-aware enough to like question it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that was weird. And I was hoping that I was checking in, with my girlfriend and stuff just to make sure I wasn't. And I was sick for like a whole week where I could not get my temperature right.
Wow.
I was oftentimes cold, like in the 94 to 96 corridor. And then, would go to sleep and then have like these mammoth like night sweats, like all of a sudden be sweating profusely out of my entire body.
That's a lot, man.
Soak through the sheets.
Wow.
Horrible. And then
Yeah.
yesterday I woke up and I felt okay.
Cool.
So I basically pushed through it. Like it just kind of went away.
You spot it off.
Which that tends to be my medical advice.
Just wait. Yeah.
Yeah, just wait it out, man.
Yeah.
Because it tends to work. I'm not trying to tell people not to go to the hospital. But it does tend to work
Unplug the
out
router. And then wait. Yeah.
Yeah. Unplug the Supreme Court and plug it back in. So.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no. So like I have no idea, because they say that one of the symptoms of like one of the surefire signs of COVID is a massive temperature. But I don't know if that goes both ways. Like if some people will have like a really high and some will have a really low. Again, I just never heard of anybody like going through what you did, what you say that you did. I'm not sure I believe what you're telling me, but for the purposes of the show, I'm going to say yes. Yes, I believe.
It's very weird. I had not known it was a thing either.
Yeah.
And speaking of pandemic, the way that I found out about it at first was on Thursday. I went and got a haircut. Like I cut my own hair in the beginning of the pandemic, but it looked like shit. It was growing out into a mullet, so I needed to get my haircut.
Yeah.
And I treated myself to an indoor public thing.
Yeah.
And the so they cut my hair and they took my temperature with that gun.
Oh yeah.
Gun, and the guy, I was like, oh, and I was kind of feeling, just like at the beginning of my like weird lightheaded feelings that I was going to have over my sickness. So I was expecting, like, I was like, oh, maybe they're going to tell me I have a fever and I have to like go home.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, you're dead. I was like, well, he's like, your temperature's really low. And I'm like, oh, and at the time I was like, oh, good. That owns. I'm not dying from COVID.
I'm especially not sick because
I'm reverse COVID.
Yeah.
I'm immune now, like our president.
You're glowing. You can go kiss everybody.
Glowing.
Beautiful ladies, the men.
Yeah, everyone gets a kiss.
Yep.
Everybody makes out with this club cranium. Like, yeah, time for the communal bath. Club cranium. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I had a doctor. I had my first doctor's appointment, like in-person doctor's appointment during COVID times. And that was a process. No, like there was nothing too crazy like surprising about it, but like most of it was me sitting in the car talking with them on the phone And then eventually I went inside and they took my temperature and I talked to the doctor and then left.
Yeah.
It just a very weird, like, could we have done it? Couldn't we have just done this completely at a distance?
Yeah. And a lot of times you can.
Yeah. But
You
they can't charge you as much for the phone visit.
That is literally true.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bummer. And those guys need those brave men
Yeah.
and women.
Yeah.
They need it.
Well, I'm happy you're feeling better, dude.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like yesterday, I got tons of stuff. Like I got my, hooked up my monitor arm. I got my electronic desk working. I did like a lot of stuff. Did laundry. Did a bunch of things I've been putting off because I just didn't have any energy.
Yeah.
And that feeling, like I wish you could bottle it. That's what I was thinking. But then I was realizing, like, that you can bottle it.
Mm-hmm.
You sell it at gas stations for $2 for $3. It's called guarine, and it owns.
Yeah.
As a gamer, it's my water.
Yes. As a gamer, that's water to me.
Guarna.
Yes. You can
It's
get
called
it.
yerba mate, and it's spiritual.
I don't care how much you think it smells bad. I'm going to keep on making it.
Yeah. Are you thinking of kombucha?
Your yerba mate. My own, maybe the person that I was around who made yerba mate tea did it really bad, but whenever they made it made the house stink to high heaven.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I only buy the canned stuff. I've never made it.
Gotcha.
And I do it as a deep spiritual ritual that puts me in touch with people in the rainforest, as the can suggests.
Liquid appropriation.
It's liquid it's a very funny name for an energy drink.
The logo is just a feather.
Yeah. It's also, since I've been playing Hades, I keep reading it like yerba mate. Because the Hades man is always calling his hunks mates.
Oh yes. Well, you got to be jovial with your hunks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do the scenario this game starts with is very strange, where you're locked in a room with a chair to climb over the door, and then 2 pieces of chicken are sitting on a chair. And the legs are positioned somewhat like the chicken was sitting coquettishly on the chair, and then the rest of the chicken disappeared and their legs were cooked. There's like just 2 drumsticks. It's very weird though.
Yeah.
Kind of off at an angle.
I mean, and also this is the first time this person thought to climb over the very low cage door. That was right there. Like this, it looks to be a dog pen more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also like lots of reviews of this, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is charming. It was cheap, etc."
That's not
and then
enough.
it's not a good thing. And then every once in a while, like there's someone who's just like, "Oh, the graphics option's really bad. You can't turn off VSync." Bad review.
No,
and it's like, that's really your problem with this? Like,
that's what you're going to lead with. But like Steam reviews and also like Steam curation kind of stuff, like that is the the refuge primarily for single issue voters when it comes to games.
Yeah. And that kind of stuff, I find extremely silly.
Yeah.
So.
And you get people like a lot of people who are reviewing this have played it for played it for a good amount of time. So who knows?
It's got a little bit of stream bait to it as well. Like there are a lot of people who, play this on stream because it's so bad it's good, etc.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's got it's a collection of PewDiePies.
Yes, yeah. People trying to ride the heat off of it. The developer for this made a game called Caliper, which I'm very curious about. No, it's like a little puzzle, like a very simple puzzle game. And then there's one called Silicone 2, which is a shooter, I guess.
They released Silicone 2 finally.
Yeah, Silicone 2, waiting. A shooter with a first person. In the story, the player will have to quell the uprising of robots. Yeah, so this is definitely machine translated. Huh.
New Silicone dropped.
It's the sequel to Silicone.
Finally. C2.
Oh,
S2.
There's a review on this. Somebody got real sassy. Review.exe has stopped working. So
I don't mind that.
No, that's good. I like that.
I'm okay with that. Ah, man. Do we got anything else on this?
I don't necessarily know.
Yeah. I'm a little drained.
Yep.
I'm still getting over getting sick. I'm going to go.
Do you want to tell the story again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to go get my haircut. It was the first If this were Guppy, I would just do the whole thing, but
Right.
I'm too tired to do it. Like,
Yeah.
it requires a certain kind of mindset space to get into Guppy.
Yeah. Well,
Don't blink. And that's the thing I can say about our developing friendship that's roughly halfway done
Right.
as we enter into decade 2 is that I feel comfortable enough to blink. And I'm going to blink on that one.
Yeah, go ahead and blink. I mean, also, I am not Will, so I am not like working you up
You would
into
not allow it. Yeah. You would push for it, and then you would, I would do it, and then, I think that I could probably like filibuster that through. Mm-hmm. Like I could pack the courts of the podcast and make that happen. But I think that it would be a lot of you going like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, like I was the one who said like, "Hey, do you want to tell the story again?" But like that was the joke, and then it would have gone way too far off the back of it. Yeah.
If you like that, Everything to Guppy is your podcast because all of those things go really, really far, really far.
Yes. But it's a particular kind of energy that you don't have at the moment. So
yeah,
we will
I
leave
definitely
it
don't have. I'm glad that Will is not like sniffing at my crotch to record Guppy right now, as he does.
Yes.
If you like this show, head on over to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and give us some money. Support your boys. Support the show. Get extra episodes.
So many extra episodes. Good stuff. Lots of stuff there. Tell your friends, ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts. Ooh, also check out our new show, Orb. It's our Venture
Brothers podcast.
Our Venture Brothers recap podcast. It's a good time.
It's a really good time. And it's early, so please check it out. Please read it. Please review it. All those things are incredibly important early on.
Please do.
So, yeah. And then what should they do, Cole?
Well, as big Kevin Malone fan always says, until next time, Gary is still looking for an anime girlfriend.